понял. Да, действительно, онлайн сейчас только растет.
Speak Canadian, Nikita. Just kidding, nerds. We got the translation from my boy Sneaky Russian 007. Thankfully, he always translates these Russian podcasts. So this new episode of Tarkov Tonight is filled with Tarkov news. You don't want to miss this episode. I got so much. So much! Welcome back to Tarkov Tonight, your weekly Tarkov roundup of news. And guess what? Today we've got a banger, only because they did a Russian podcast. And thankfully, our buddy Sneaky Russian 007 did translate it for us. So thankfully, we can now tell you all the news that came out of it. If you guys don't know Sneaky Russian 007, he's on twitch.tv. Go give him some love. Go give him a follow. Tell him I say hello. But first, we're going to talk about some changes they made to trader items. And some of them you'll be like, meh. And some of them you might get a little pissed off about. But all in all, let's get your blood boiling. So the first change is to the AVS rig. You used to be able to buy it just outright on Ragman. Now you can't. Now it takes 5 shampoo, which you can craft in the hideout, and it's going to take 3 of the red toothpaste. I forget what they're called, Ortondodox or something, but you need 3 of those. You can't craft them, so you will have to find those. The shampoo you can craft, toothpaste you can't. Someone make a jingle for me. The next armor change actually hits home quite a bit for me here, only because this is my go-to trade for when I want to just get some armor. Nothing fancy, but I have to do a quest or something and I don't want to bring in anything too expensive because I'm going in with a mediocre kit. That's the Gazelle. So before it used to be 1 gold chain and 1 coffee and you got a Gazelle. Now they changed it to 3 coffee and 2 gold chain. I get why they did it, because it was a little too cheap. You know, you could buy everything for maybe under 60,000, but come on. Daddy needs something cheap to use that's decent. The next thing might piss off a lot of people that don't have EOD, because the next item I'm going to talk about is the beta container. So this container is like the first one up from your alpha. So this is the first chance you have from upgrading from the 2x2 to something that's a 3x3. And it used to be 5,600 US dollars. Not bad, not bad. Or 600,000 rubles. Now, takes 4 of these honeycomb things, 5 of these circuit boards, military circuit boards, and 1 LEDX. That's 2.5 million rubles now. Good luck, nerds. Good luck. We can now deep dive into the Russian podcast. I listened to the whole thing through Sneaky Russian, and I have a bunch of creepy notes. There's like 4 pages of notes, but they all look like, you know, like a serial killer wrote them. Even though the notes are only legible to me because my writing's terrible, I put them all fancy like so you guys can read them too. So the first thing is they're still unsure what they're going to do. It's either 1 big patch or 2 smaller patches. They're not sure yet. The main thing that they are focusing on at the moment are the continuous healing bugs, stutters, and crashes. I'm sure a lot of you guys have dealt with probably all 3 of these, so you know how big of a pain in the ass it is. So it's good to hear that, you know, they know about these. They're trying to fix them. Another thing is Reshade and NVIDIA Freestyle are allowed at the moment. They will not be ever bannable, but later on there will be a certain setting in them that if you have it turned on, Tarkov will just be a black screen. And they also want you to know they are working on putting options in the game that are like these programs so you won't have to use them. But today they just tweeted something out, and guess what? Reshade's gone. If you guys don't know what Reshade is, don't worry about it, but it's gone at the moment. So that is some huge news. Is NVIDIA Freestyle still allowed? Yeah. So if you have NVIDIA's Freestyle, you can use that. But if you are using Reshade at the moment, you have to uninstall it. And if you don't have NVIDIA Freestyle, you're kind of a shit out of luck here, buds. Sorry, dude. Something that they are working on that's close to home here is they are working on ways on how to help streamers to not get stream sniped as much. This really does hit me hard because when I first started the game, I was dying to like the same person on labs constantly, and I didn't know why. I was just like, wow, that's a weird coincidence. And then finally some people in the chat were like, I think you're getting stream sniped. It's actually really easy in this game to get stream sniped. So I changed my servers and I always hid my screen, and lo and behold, never killed me again. they are starting to test ways on how to fix hatchlings, or quote unquote what they call free farmers. Nikita did say hatchlings are a viable style of gameplay, but it should not be entirely cut out of the game. To do this, they are going to add scavs and high value loot locations, randomizing loot, not dynamic loot, just to let you guys know, they're randomizing it. I prefer dynamic, but they're just going to randomize it. Also, they may be looking at not making it possible to put barter items into our secure containers. Now, after he said this, people had a fucking meltdown, of course, on Reddit, and people went nuts. Today, he issued something on Reddit. He said, guys, it seems like somebody translated last podcast incorrectly. There will be no rash changes and nothing has been decided at the moment. I was telling them that this is an old issue and better. First, we're going to do random loot, and then we're going to do more scavs and valuable area spawn, and later we will see how it goes. So again, we do not shape our game based on streamers' opinion. We do not make rash decisions. Everything is being analyzed. We test the game, we discuss things. It's live and breathing process. I don't know what the last part, I don't know. Anyways, so what I take away from this is, you know what? They're not going to be changing the secure containers yet, because I think that's the main thing people were having a meltdown over is, you know, only some people can play this game 40 hours a week. You know, I'm lucky enough to be one of them because I do this for a living, but there are a huge population of this game that can only play, say, for maybe an hour a day, if that. So if we can't put those tradable items into our secure containers or those barter items or anything like that, they might not be able to get a lot of quests done because they'll keep dying before they get to extract. So I get where this frustration comes in. I'm on this fence about this, don't get me wrong. I do want to see a change some way, but I think, you know, I think them randomizing loot and then just putting more scavs in like the high valuable spawn areas is going to cut down on this on the hatchet problem. So I want to see how this goes before we start taking out our pitchforks and start freaking out. So currently when you go into a raid with an empty gas can in your inventory, they get filled up, but we found out this is a bug and it's getting looked into right now. And he kind of joked, I think, I'm not sure, but he said people that do this, don't be surprised if your account gets wiped. I don't know if that was like a joking manner or whatnot. All I know is I'm not doing this again. I mean, I've never done this, you guys. I've never done this. Yeah, I'll never do it again. Lately, there has been a lot of YouTube videos floating around the YouTube sphere on how to cheese your skills so you can get a lot of XP per raid and just level up all these skills crazy fast. So what they said they're doing is they're going to limit the amount of XP you get per raid for skills. This way you can't just cheese your skills in one raid. This makes a lot of sense, especially when they don't want to be doing wipes constantly. There's not going to be any wipes later on in the future. And they're saying that these skills should take you a long time to max out. They don't want you to be able to max them out right away. So I get why they're doing this. It kind of does suck, don't get me wrong, when you know, you have a task and you need, say, sniper skill up to, say, 10, and it takes a long friggin' time. I get how we can get frustrated by this, but this is what they're doing now. We're just gonna have to deal with it. They may be adding a 5th level to the traders. Right now, they are talking about making camping spots near extracts impossible to get to or even delete them entirely. I am so down for this, please. You know the extract at Shoreline, the tunnel one, and there's that sniping spot above? Get rid of that. What's the point of it even being there? I don't know, but you know what? Yeah, delete it or just make it so no one could get there, please. They also talked about arena mode. It is still coming. There are going to be many modes for arena, so this is pretty interesting. If you guys don't know what arena mode is, it's kind of like the PvP kind of deathmatch kind of style game they're going to be doing. So it's going to be a whole separate thing. And it's going to be 5-on-5. They said there's not going to be any limits to the teammates you bring in, so you can bring in a team of 5 if you want. I like this idea. It's just another way of you to play the game. It's another option for us, and I'm so for that. EFT will be available eventually on Steam and the Epic Games Store, but at first they want to finish the game before they even put it out on other platforms. This just makes sense. I get that. You know, especially because, you know, Steam, I don't know about an Epic Games Store, but I know for sure Steam does let you return games if you only play a certain amount of time. And I can see this game getting returned a lot especially in its current state. So I see why they want to do this before they put it on these types of services. They are going to be adding new traders. That's always cool. Hopefully the tasks aren't like Yager, but who knows? And something they did live is they changed interchange and reserve timers to 55 minutes. I always love when they do this in podcasts. They're talking about something and they give Nikita maybe, you know, a suggestion or talk about maybe changing something. Have they thought about it? And right at his computer, he's like, yeah, I'll do it right now. Here we go. It's done. That's so fucking neat. It's cool that he has that much power just right there. I love that. That's awesome. They're in the process of thinking about randomizing cache locations. This does make sense because even if you're just a scav and you go to Shoreline, you can make a ton of money just by hitting the cache locations. You don't even have to go near the resort. So I get why they would want to do this. They did touch on the DLC for EFT that's going to be coming out eventually. It'll be called Scav Life, and it will add a karma system and a prestige system. Fuck yeah, prestige. I'm down for that. Compass, VoIP, and Steam Audio will all be next year. Streets of Tarkov or Town will be the next map and be out in 6 months. The map will be so big you'll get lost. Now, just a quick clarification. He did call it Town, and there's 2 locations on the Tarkov map that's called Town and Streets of Tarkov, but I did get a hold of Sneaky Russian and he thinks he was talking about Streets of Tarkov. Either way, they're saying that the next map will be one of these 2. If I was a betting man, I'd say it's Streets. And he's saying it's going to be so big you'll get lost. I'm really down for this. He also said in a previous podcast that this map's going to be so big there's going to be 2 bosses on it. That's really exciting. This is some big ass information, guys. Get ready. There will be a wipe in 3 months though before that patch. They're making significant changes to the hideout, and to test these changes they need to do a wipe. Wowza, 3 months. I'm all for wipes, so I'm so down for that. I like wipes. I think the best PvP is at the beginning of the wipe. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's probably the best PvP you will find in Tarkov, is once a wipe just happens. I love it. So this is pretty crazy. In 3 months, we're gonna be getting a wipe. That's still quite a bit of time. I don't want you guys to be freaking out and saying we're putting the game down then. Don't. You know, the best thing was when I started playing was I learned how to play the game. You know, I was really slow at it. I didn't know what I was doing. But then by the time my first wipe came around, I just breezed through a lot of shit and I got to keep up with a lot of the players. And it was really awesome to keep up with a lot of the high level players, just because in the previous wipe, I might have gone slow, but at least I learned where all the locations were, where to do all these tasks, how to do the tasks. So it's a good thing, guys. It's a good thing. Also, Nikita has been thinking of adding a feature to clean your visor. Wow, this is unbelievable. So many memes have been made for this, but finally we might be able to clean our visor. Praise be to Nikita. Praise be to Nikita. There might be a new slot getting added to your PMC called the War Belt. In this slot, you'll be able to carry certain utility items. If you guys don't know, they have been talking about using a multi-tool in raid so you can take off certain parts of guns. Right now, you can't take off, say, the pistol grip or anything like that. But, you know, if you're carrying around a multi-tool, you will be able to do that. So now you'll be able to fit way more guns into your backpack. This is a game changer, and I'm really excited to see how this works because I'm sure the multi-tool will take a lot of time for you to use it in raid. So it's up to you whether or not you want to use it. There will be a deficit event for certain items every couple of months. There also might be an enemy hunting these resources in game. I don't know what to really say about this. I want to see it in effect. I have to see how they do it. I get why they're going to do the deficit, but let's see, if someone's hunting these resources in game, maybe that means, you know, there's not many GPUs for the next month, but there's going to be a lot of these different enemy types going to, say, Tech Light and places like that where they spawn, and you can run into these different, you know, enemies. I think that's neat. I like the idea. Let's see how it is though. They did talk about these safe zones also, and how it's going to be like a player hub and you're going to have to work with other players. I don't quite get this at all. I don't know why you'd have to work with other players. All I know is it does sound really unique, really different, because you never really have to work with other players that aren't in your squad. So this will be something that I'm excited to see. First, how they make it so we have to work with other players, and second, to see if other players do actually work with you, because they said, say you're in this hub and one player kills another, that just means all the other players will turn on this one player. We're just gonna have to see how it is. A big thing they did say, and they actually confirmed finally, is there's no wipes after this game is released. Also, graphic cards will have a limited use, just like certain keys. This does make sense because right now we can get a bunch of Bitcoins from our Bitcoin farm, and I'm guessing it's just going to be like, keys. So that eventually you're going to have to trade them out. Something that did come up in my chat when we were talking about this was how it would be neat if you can, re-up the CPU or the GPUs with, say, like, some caps and some other stuff, just like kind of like the factory key. You give the trader an empty factory key plus some other stuff, he gives you a full one. So it'd be kind of cool if they did this also with GPUs. Also, they are telling us that every key card now will have a durability to it. So, red key card, blue key card, black key card, all those key cards, they're going to have limited use to them in the future. Right now, the red key card only opens up one room. It's an amazing room, but it does only open up one room. But it is supposed to be more like a master key card. And I just saw that supposed has this weird bracket in there that's not supposed to be there. Anyways, so it is supposed to be more like a master key card. So it can maybe open up, the green room and the blue room, but it will have a limited use, but it is supposed to be more like a master key card. They also touched on how you might be able to start cutting your own keys in the future. We do have some animations left. I'm going to quickly just touch base on them, tell you what they are, and we'll go through them. So this is the new injector. I'm not sure quite what it's going to do. They did say that this top piece right here, you're going to be able to craft different things for it to do. I'm kind of weirded out by this only because we already have those syringes that do a whole bunch of shit, like the propofol and whatnot and the adrenaline. So is this going to be just like a more intense version of that, or is this just, I'm not sure what this is going to, I'm at a loss for words. If you know, please put it in the comments below. I do love me some MP7, so when I saw that the MP9's coming in, I was pretty excited. Unfortunately for us, it is another 9x19 gun. And we all know that ammo does suck. Eventually, I'd say halfway through the wipe, it does become kind of shitty. But the MP9's coming. It's going to have probably a faster rate of fire than the MP7. In real life, it does. So I can see the MP9 in this game having a faster rate of fire. So all in all, fun new gun coming. No one's going to complain about that. The more choices, the better. I know we're going to get some complaints that it is another 9x19. But hey, it'll still destroy your face, man. It'll still destroy it. So this new gun is the VPO 215. Kind of looks like what we use in Canada to hunt moose. But here's the thing. It is a 366 gun, which means, guess what? It's useless. But here's the thing with guns that are useless even in Tarkov. A lot of people I talk to on stream don't care if it's useless or not. Sometimes they just like the option of using the gun because maybe they like it in real life. Maybe they own one and they just want to mod it out. So like I said before, more options, the better. So the last gun of the night is the SR25. This gun is a 7.62x51 caliber gun. So it takes M80, M61, M62. Nikita called it the cheaper RSAS. So it is a semi-automatic gun. So I see it as in between from the Vepr Hunter and the RSAS. This is going to be the in between. It's kind of in my head going to be like the beefed up 8R, and I'm okay with that because I really like me some 8R. So I'm really looking forward to this gun, and all the stuff I just showed you, all these animations, all this stuff, plus more maybe, they said, is going to be in the game before the end of the year. So that's something we can really look forward to. Thank you so much for watching this video. It's Tarkov Tonight. I put this out every Monday at 8 a.m. for you guys. It's like a roundup of news. If you guys like this idea, think about subscribing to the channel, give it a like. Also, I do stream 5 days a week on twitch.tv. Come by, say hello, and until then, I'll talk to you nerds later.